This is Larry Henares, making your day, with part 11 of an article I wrote on the destiny of the Filipino people. Subject, industrialization. Continue to quote. Japan's land reform program under Emperor Meiji triggered off one of history's most unique movements, the first land reform program ever instituted. What Emperor Meiji did was to compensate the daimyos, the landowning class, for the loss of their lands and encourage them to go into industry. He sent Japanese scholars all over the world, but mostly to England, to learn technology and the techniques of production. He did not allow any foreign experts to come to Japan. He did not allow foreign capital to invade his economy. He relied mostly on the genius of his own people and the creation of domestic credit to finance his country's industrialization. The daimyos, the landowning class, were more than compensated at twice the value in cash for the loss of their lands. They were not destroyed as a land-owning class. They were instead transformed into the industrialist saibatsus. Now, what happened to the lands of the daimyos? They were given to those who wanted to till them. But these new farmers were protected by laws prohibiting importation of competing agricultural products, because they are allowed to charge what the market can afford to pay without unfair foreign competition, in a sense being subsidized by the better paid urban workers. They were able to earn enough to live decently and grow enough for the entire requirements of the burgeoning Japanese population. There is more that can be said of our farmers in the Philippines. In contrast, here in the Philippines, due to IMF's import liberalization policy, we import corn to the prejudice of our corn farmers. We import rice to subsidize consumers, not producers, by keeping prices low. In contrast, our agrarian reform program compensates landowners at tax-assessed values, way below market price, 10% down, and the rest in 10 years, a compensation guaranteeing a genteel descent of the landed class into poverty. No viable investment alternatives are available to the dispossessed landowners. All-out industrialization is ruled out by our own constitution, by NEDA policy, and also by the advice of the Americans in favor of sound agricultural development. Unquote. More about this after these messages. This is Larry Henares, making your day, with part 11 of a book we wrote on the destiny of the Filipino people. Subject, industrialization. The first land reform program, originating from one patriotic outburst of nationalistic landed aristocracy, brought a sense of common purpose and common destiny, a sense of belonging to each other among all Japanese that resulted in far-reaching reforms in the hands of the wise Emperor Meiji. A centralized government arose. Feudalism was abolished in one sweep, and the nation rapidly progressed into industrialization. In 1873, torture was abolished, and a judicial code based on the Napoleonic Code was authorized. The first railway from Yokohama to Tokyo was opened in 1872. The European calendar was adopted, and English was introduced in the school curriculums. The Japanese also demanded a revision of one-sided treaties with foreigners, but failed. This led to a strong anti-foreign reaction that led to assaults on foreigners, including future Russian Tsar Nicholas II, then on a visit to Tokyo. Great Britain signed a revised treaty in 1894, and all other nations followed. By 1901, all those obnoxious clauses suggestive of political inferiority has disappeared from the treaties. Thus, in his wise patriotism, Meiji Tenno led his people out of feudalism with the first land reform program ever undertaken in modern times, and lived to see his country advance to the first rank of modern nations. In 1868, Japan was a totally agricultural nation like the Philippines. In 1904, a mere 36 years later, Japan became a modern industrial nation, making its own guns and battleship and winning the Russo-Japanese War against Imperial Russia. The same analogy may be applied to the American experience. In 1864, Lincoln abolished slavery in the agricultural South and started the period of Reconstruction, which opened the vast West for development. By 1898, a mere 34 years later, the United States was a major power which defeated Spain and started on its own manifest destiny as a colonial power. But what have we accomplished in the more than 100 years of nationhood? Nothing! More tomorrow, my dear friends. This is Larry Henares, making your day, saying good day, God bless you. Thank you very much for being with us till next time. Hasta la bye-bye.